All right, I have to take this as a supercharger now. Why don't you join me for a ride and we'll talk a little about supercharging, and I can demonstrate some features like Autopilot while we take it for a little spin. Okay, so for finding a supercharger, you have this little lightning bolt here, and then you have level 1 charging, which is destination charging, which could be like a hotel, maybe a restaurant. It's not going to be super fast charging, it's going to be slow charging. It's something that maybe you're at a restaurant, it might add maybe 10-20 miles of range while you're eating. Then you have level 2 charging, that'll maybe add about 30 or 40 miles of range per hour. There's lots of that around too. But then the real ace in the hole is the supercharging. That will give you a full charge in about 35 to 45 minutes. You can see there is a lot of them. Tesla's really secret sauce is a supercharging network. They have 30,000. The majority of them are in the United States. So we're going to go to this one in Federal Way. And even though I know where the supercharger is, I'm still going to navigate to it because I'm telling the car that I am about to supercharge. So the car is going to start preconditioning the battery for faster charging. So it's going to get that battery ready, good operating temperature, which is going to make it fast charge the most efficiently. So that's a little Tesla tip for you. See, it says right there, preconditioning battery for fast charging. Another cool feature they added is these blind spot cameras. This is a recent addition to the Model 3 and Model Y. And it just kind of shows you the amazingness of the over-the-air updates. We have a lot of Teslas. I have a hard time keeping up with the amount of over-the-air updates that we're getting from these things. It is amazing. Talking about the center screen here, some people might criticize, oh, you know, Tesla makes you do all the functionality of the vehicle through this screen. You know, I like to have individual buttons. But the thing is, having individual buttons, you're locked in. You can't change them if you have manual buttons to operate different things or whatnot. But the thing with Tesla, it's kind of like your iPhone. You get an update and basically your whole display can change. You gain features like that blind spot camera. A lot of other, you know, car manufacturers, they wouldn't be able to do an over-the-air update and automatically, you know, you turn your signal on, now you have a blind spot camera. Because a lot of times, you know, those features are tied to hard wiring and buttons and stuff like that. They'd have to, you know, manually install, you know, equipment on the vehicle to do that. The Model Y, not the Model Y, but the Model Y has been around since 2020. The Model 3 since 2017, and they've had these side cameras the whole time, but Tesla just figured out, oh, we can do an update, and now we have blind spot cameras. And I mean, that's just a drop in the bucket, just as one example of all these amazing updates that has happened. Like the Sentry mode is another one that wasn't always available. Then they decide, hey, we can utilize all these, you know, cameras around the vehicle for a security system. We have an onboard hard drive that takes a USB stick. You can record video. So supercharging is pretty straightforward as far as a Tesla goes. When you get a Tesla, you're going to get a Tesla account. You're going to have to add a credit card to your Tesla account. Once you have that credit card added, you're all set. You just find a supercharger, back into it, plug it in, and it will all happen automatically. You don't need to initiate anything. You don't need to press a button on your app or put your credit card info in there or pay for it. You'll be billed automatically. So what do supercharging sessions cost? With my experience, you know, it depends on how long you charge for, how much you charge. But usually I get billed anywhere between, you know, $12 or $18 for a full supercharging session. And if you figure, you know, gas prices and stuff like that, what you pay for gas, you know, gas is $5-6 a gallon. And, you know, you pay $15 for a supercharging session that adds 150 miles of range to your vehicle. That's definitely cheaper than gas. But obviously that's not your least expensive charging method. The least expensive charging method is to charge at home. You can set up a 220 service at your house. You can use your current, you know, mobile Tesla charger. You can get an adapter for that. That will add about 20 miles of charge per hour. Or you could set up a wall charger. The wall charger will add about 30 or 40 miles of range per hour to your vehicle. And that's the beauty of it. Your house is like the gas station. You come home, you plug your car in, you wake up the next morning, you have a full charge. So your house, you know, it's like waking up with a full tank of gas. So, and with a vehicle like with this Tesla Model Y, it's got a range fully charged of about 300 miles. So a lot of people with at-home charging wouldn't even really need to use the supercharging that much. You can use it in a pinch, or you can maybe use it if you're on a road trip or something like that. And you can pretty much drive this Model Y anywhere in the United States with the supercharging network. And the Tesla will tell you how to get there. You put in an address in the navigation system. Tesla's not going to leave you hanging. It will tell you what supercharger to go to, how fast to go. Say, hey, keep it under 70 miles an hour. You'll arrive at the supercharger with about 20% range left. You'll need to charge there for at least 30 minutes to make it to your destination. So it figures it out for you, so it takes a lot of the range anxiety out of road tripping. So I'm going to activate the Autopilot. So there's two aspects to Autopilot. There's the adaptive cruise control. So you hear that little boing, that activated the adaptive cruise control. I have this little scroll wheel right here. I can use that to adjust the speed. So the speed limit's 45, and you can adjust the speed, to 60, 70. With Autosteer, sometimes they do limit how fast you can go. So great, adaptive cruise control. But what about the Autosteer? So you got to press this down twice to activate the Autosteer. So now the Autosteer is on. It's slowing me down a little bit because Autosteer is restricted to 50 miles an hour. You can see I'm not on the highway. I'm kind of like on a somewhat divided 4-lane road. Like I said, you can use these on 2 lanes, but you need to be vigilant. You have to understand that using the Autopilot, that this car is not going to slow down for corners. So if I'm on a 40-mile-an-hour road and a 15-mile-per-hour hairpin corner is coming up, it's not going to slow down for that corner. I can either shut the Autopilot off, or I can use a scroll wheel and I can slow down the vehicle to a speed where the vehicle can, comfortably go around that corner. I can tell you that the Autosteer does really well on light bends on roads like this, but when you start to get to really, hard corners, it does start having a hard time. I would just assume just drive yourself at that aspect. Eventually, when they do have the full self-driving beta, if you're using it, it can make right and left-hand turns. It can stop for pedestrians. It can stop for traffic lights and stuff like that. It's quite amazing, but it's still not at the point where they can release it for commercial use and for people to not pay attention. But they're getting there. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Dirty Tesla. He's participating in the beta program, and you can always see how well you're doing. And he lives in Michigan. He drives, his Model Y through downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. And for the most part, the vehicle is doing great. It's just a few instances when something comes up where he has to intervene. But it's happening less and less. I've been following his YouTube channel for over a year, and with every update of the FSD, it's getting better and better and better. And I think it's just a matter of time before Tesla does solve the full self-driving. And when that happens, I think it's going to be quite revolutionary for our world. It's going to change our lives a lot, because I think everyone's going to want to have full self-driving when it comes out. And Tesla doesn't seem to be wanting to keep it for themselves. They are saying, obviously things can change, but right now they're saying that if we do, solve full self-driving, we'll license it out to anyone who wants to buy it from us. So if, BMW and Toyota want to utilize it and put it in their vehicles, we'll offer it to them, and they'll have to pay us for it, but they can use it too. So quite amazing. And the thing with Autopilot is, for me, I kind of get stressed. I love driving, but I like driving on nice back roads and stuff like that. I really don't like driving on the highway. But with the full self-drive, with the Autopilot, it's kind of taking the workload off of me. I'm in supervisor mode. It's handling the braking and acceleration right now. See it stopping. It's handling the steering. And I'm just sitting back, and I'm in supervising mode. I'm just sitting here relaxing, keeping my hand on the wheel, paying attention, ready to intervene in case something happens. 99% of the time it works fine. Sometimes something weird might happen with a car or traffic, a weird situation that might confuse a car. You just got to be there to intervene. But I can tell you, it makes a big difference. Like yesterday, I had to do a lot of road trips yesterday. I had to go to the body shop. I had to go up to the Cadillac dealership in Renton. I was doing a lot of driving. I can take any car on the lot I want. Do I take the 21 C8 Corvette? Do I take the Porsche, Cayenne? The BMW X3? The Mustang GT 6-speed manual? I love that stuff, but hey, when I'm driving on the highway, I'm not driving on fun back roads, this is the car I'm going to take. So I actually drove a 21 Standard Range Plus, and it was great. I was going up and down I-5, driving in rush hour, and I can tell you, Autopilot makes your life so much easier. Luckily for me, my commute is 10-mile-an-hour back roads and stuff like that, but if I was doing a lot of stop and go traffic driving, I would have to have a Tesla with Autopilot. I don't own a Tesla yet. I gotta stay loyal to the brand. I've been with Infiniti 18 years. I do own 2 Infinitis myself, but I will have a Tesla eventually. But luckily, being a used car manager, I get to you know, have fun with the cars. I get to drive them and play with them, and get to play with different ones. We're always getting, you know, new and different Teslas, so it's kind of fun to, you know, see the different options, the different color combinations, different option packages, different models of Teslas. So yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff. Also, on the button, the scroll wheel that you use to adjust the speed for the adaptive cruise control, you can also push it left and right. You push it left to increase the following distance, and you push it right to decrease the following distance. So that basically means when the adaptive cruise control is on, it will tell the vehicle how close or how far to follow. For instance, if I'm in stop and go traffic like this, I'm going to tend to want a shorter following distance. But if I'm on the highway, you know, cruising at 70-75 miles an hour, I'm going to want a longer following distance to, you know, give me more braking distance, give more time to react in case something happens. But yeah, I mean, this is really nice. You know, the car's doing the work for me. Or in stop and go traffic, driving through Federal Way, stop and go traffic, not always the greatest thing, but in this nice comfortable Tesla, the car doing a lot of the work for me, it makes it a lot nicer. Alright, this is a high usage supercharger, so hopefully I'll have a stall. I can tell you, just over the last couple of years, the supercharger network has become a lot fuller. It just shows you how popular Teslas have become. Tesla is still building new superchargers at a lightning pace. They're adding services constantly, but so many people over the last couple of years have switched to Teslas that the superchargers are a lot more fuller these days. So I was looking somewhat full over here. Let's take a look. And they always recommend to give some space. So all these cars clumped together, they're not going to charge as fast. So I'm going to go over here, all the way over here, because they do say that they can be two cars can be operating on one circuit. So if you give some space, if you can, your car will charge faster. So I'm all the way over here, and I have 2 spots from the next closest Tesla. You want to pull in all the way to these bump stops right here. The charging cables are fairly short, so you have to pull all the way back. You'll feel the tires bump into it. There we go. Put it in park. There we go. All right. Got here just in time. 20 miles of range left. We have 20 miles of range left, so this thing should charge pretty fast. So for charging, it's pretty easy. So we backed it in. We're gonna plug in the charging cable, and it'll work fairly seamlessly. So you grab the charging cable. There's a little button right here. You hit that. It'll pop open. You put it in. See, it's charging. Easy as that. Some of the other chargers that I've had to use, I won't name names, it's a little bit more complicated. There's one charger that we have to use, and I have the app. I have to read the serial, find the serial number on the charger, then find the serial number on my app and match to that charger and turn that charger on to get the car to charge. Not the case with this. You just plug it in, it automatically charges your credit card. So the thing with Tesla, well, not Tesla batteries, but batteries in general, is the emptier the battery is, the quicker they will charge. And as they get fuller, the rate of charge will slow down. So this battery is fairly empty. You can see I came in with 20 miles. I'm already at 26 miles. It added 6 miles, 7 miles, less than a minute. So you can see it's charging very fast. So right now it's saying it's charging about 1,025 miles per hour at 246 kilowatts. It's going to start slowing down. It's saying I have about 30 minutes for a full charge. Pretty impressive. In fact, I do think they've updated things with these Tesla Superchargers. I've been using these for a long time, and before it would seem like it would say it would take a half hour for it to charge, or 40 minutes, but it seemed like it would take longer than that. It would seem like it would take an hour or so. But recently, over the last couple days, I've noticed, to me, and this is my perception, this is not like scientific fact, but to me it seems like the charging has increased. So I don't know if Tesla's able to do a software update to the cars or their supercharging network that's making them more efficient. But for instance, I was charging here the other day. I came in with about 20 miles of range. I went over to the grocery store over there, you really can't see it, to go pee. I came back and I was already at 100 miles of range. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So it's charging fast. Luckily I had a charging spot open. I didn't have to wait in line. And you can see here over there, Tesla has also added the level 2 chargers, which is another option. I recommend level 2 charging to people that want to leave their car and they're going to maybe be shopping for a couple hours. So right now I have 25 minutes left, which is good, but the thing is, if I want to go to the grocery store going shopping, I was going to be an hour or two. I have to make sure I get back to my Tesla in time, because what's going to happen is when it's done charging, I'll get a notification in my app. They're really good about alerting you, but if you don't take your Tesla off the supercharger, they're going to charge you $1 a minute idle fee. So in that case, a lot of times if you're going to be shopping for a couple hours, go to dinner and a movie or something like that, instead of going to the supercharger, go plug into the level 2 chargers. That's going to add 40 miles of range per hour, so you don't have to worry about idle fees and getting charged at, because you have a couple hours to let your car charge. And that also, I think, could be a little bit better for the battery as well. I've heard conflicting information, but as far as what I know, fast charging is not the greatest for the life of your battery. I think level 2 or level 1 charging is better for the life of your battery. I don't know if that's fact, but I've usually with smartphones, they say if you fast charge the smartphones too much, that can cause premature battery degradation. And now with superchargers becoming more and more popular, now they're starting to limit supercharge usage to about 80%, which is fine, because the thing is that Tesla actually doesn't recommend you charge your battery to 100% unless you have specific Teslas, specific Model 3s that have a different battery technology, which does not degrade from full charging. I think they're LFP batteries, the new LFP batteries they put in the 22 Model 3s. I think they are also going to put those in the Model Ys too, but they're not out yet as of July 22 for sale to consumers. I think maybe some Tesla employees that are buying Teslas might have early access to maybe those Model Ys with the LFP batteries. But right now, most Teslas have lithium-ion batteries. So if your Tesla has a lithium-ion battery, Tesla only recommends that you charge the vehicle to 80-90% for a couple of reasons. For one, that last 10 or 20%, that takes a lot of time. Like I said, the fuller batteries get, the longer they take to charge. So that extra 10 minutes that extra 10% can add maybe 20 minutes or a half hour to your charging session. And also, Tesla doesn't recommend you charge your batteries, your lithium-ion batteries, to 100%, because that can cause premature battery degradation. So they have this slider right here, and you can also control it with your app to control the rate of charge. If you're going to go on a road trip, which is fine. Every once in a while, if you're going to go on a road trip and you need to charge 100%, that's fine. That's not going to hurt your battery. If you charge to 100% every day, then that can hurt your battery. So you can set this slider so it charges to 100% for those road trips. And then for normal usage, you can put it to 80 or 90% and you don't have to ever worry about, overcharging your battery. Pretty cool stuff. Well, I think I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. Hopefully this video is informative. I don't know if you're interested in this Model Y specifically, or information in general, or information in Teslas. Awesome products. Supercharging is fantastic. You can see in this short amount of time, I've already added 74 miles of range to this vehicle. And that's the other thing too. You don't need to charge the full amount. I don't have to stay here for the full half hour. In a pinch, I just came in and for a little bit and I got 77 miles. So maybe if I'm running late for work, I only had 20 miles left. Well, now I have enough miles to get home to my destination where I can plug into a charger and then I'm good. So obviously when you own an EV, going from an EV to a gas car, it's going to be a little bit of a lifestyle change. You do have to, you know, think about things a little bit differently, but obviously it's not that hard to change from a gas car to an EV. You can see with such a long battery range of 300 miles and this amazing supercharging network. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon and have a wonderful day.